Federal government pledges to harness Nigeria's geo-heritage sites for economic growth.
But we are a young nation, and I will urge you to expand your coverage beyond Borno and Kebbi.
Health experts advocate regulation to curb unsafe reproductive health practices in Nigeria.
Practitioners must be protected. What does that mean? You must have reasonable knowledge and skills before you are let loose on the population.
NISA and Lagos state governments move to tackle flooding with assessments of high-risk areas. And welcome to the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The federal government has affirmed the commitment to unlocking the socio-economic potentials of Nigeria's geo-heritage sites. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this when he received a delegation from the UNESCO International Geoscience and Geoparks Program, Nigeria, led by its chairman, Dr. Aminu Abdullahi Isiaku, on a courtesy visit at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports.
This meeting is reaffirmation of the Tinubu administration's efforts to explore the economic and developmental benefits of geoheritage sites for the betterment of the nation. Vice President Kashim Shettima commended Nigerian Geological Survey Agency and the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology for their respective roles in preserving Nigeria's geoheritage sites, encouraging the team to expand its geoscience coverage across Nigeria's geopolitical zones, assuring the delegation of sustained support for the committee's activities.
And I want to acknowledge the UNESCO IGGP NNC's alignment with our renewed hope agenda. And also recognize your council's, your committee's objectives in promoting sustainable geoscience development themes under climate change, earth resources, hydrogeology, geohazards, geodynamics, and geoheritage. But we are a young nation, and I will urge you to expand your coverage beyond Borno and Kebbi.
The committee is aligning itself with the President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda in ensuring climate resilience among other goals, promising to raise public awareness on the benefits of geosciences.
We believe that our coming is the right time for us to come and share our objectives with the presidency and also seek, most importantly, subnational support. So that because all our work is eventually going to be done at the subnationals. So we believe that coming here is the right place for us to take our message.
The establishment of a national committee for Nigeria, 50 years after the establishment of the global body, has firmly placed the country within the International Geoscience Program framework. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
In recent times, flooding has remained one of the biggest environmental challenges facing Nigeria. To address this, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, in collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, embarked on a flood assessment and validation tour of flood-prone areas in Lagos. Ese Onwamaka reports.
The joint flood assessment and validation tour of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, and the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources took officials to key flood-prone communities in Ikoyi, Ibejuleki, and Lekki areas of the state. Residents say the impact of heavy rainfall and poor drainage systems has been most severe in these areas.
Beach water is normally come outside. Okay. So you normally come outside and everybody's already know the way the area is. You have to risk all your things up. Okay. So to save all your market or to save a lot of things, you know that you have to rescue.
When it comes up, everywhere will be flood because due to there's no drainage system and the road will be hard to pass.
This block, we need it because this flow is affecting. If you go to Owode, it has really affected the houses. But all this side is because of this, so the wave have moved to Owode side.
The team, led by Director, Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Femi Bejide, inspected drainage channels, water channels, and flood plains while engaging with residents to better understand their experiences and identify gaps in mitigation measures.
Mitigation of flooding is one of the major parts of Renewed Hope agenda. Why? Because flooding affects 195 million people. Almost 3/4 of Nigerians are affected by flooding. And not only affected by flooding, what that means that their hope is dashed. If we tackle and mitigate the effect of flooding, minimize it, then people's hope will be renewed.
With flooding predicted to persist due to climate change and rapid urbanization, Femi Bejide emphasized the importance of collaborative efforts in taking proactive measures.
The legislators also make flood mitigation projects their constituencies projects and let the local government chairman and the councillors also mobilize the people, the youth leaders, mobilize them to clear their drainages and also to create retention basin so that water can be stored there.
Saddled with the responsibility of developing a roadmap to enhance Nigeria's capabilities in flood mitigation, preparedness, adaptation and response, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, continues to update Nigerians on flood risk across the country. In Lagos, Ese Owamaka, NT News.
Now, driven by increased infertility cases, societal pressures to have children, population explosion and poverty, health experts who were guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria wants regulation to mitigate escalating unwholesome practices in reproductive health in Nigeria. They believe the sector faces significant challenges such as lack of proper regulations and the dangers posed by unqualified practitioners. Lydia Sampson reports.
Egg harvesting, sperm donation, surrogacy, and in vitro fertilization are medical procedures globally recognized in helping couples having difficulty in having children. Unfortunately, Gaston Good Morning Nigeria acknowledged many clinics operate without adequate facilities or oversight, putting patients at risk. They caution that high supply and demand driving desperation for survival is also exposing vulnerable young people to abuse.
With the National Assembly to protect all sides. It's not enough to focus women are victims. The practitioners must be protected. What does that mean? You must have reasonable knowledge and skills before you are let loose on the population.
Where we started talking about integration of family life education into our school curriculum. And this Ministry of Health has been working assiduously as of that time in collaboration with the Ministry of Education.
With the National Health Act and other legal framework for emerging trends in reproductive health unclear on these issues, leading to commercialization and abuse, the guests insist it is time to change the narrative.
We can, in terms of the guideline, since the money has to be used in the primary healthcare center, so we should be able to put some of these facilities in the primary healthcare centers. But you know, there are certain basic facility provisions. Anywhere you put that, there must be constant electricity. There must be trained personnel to manage it. So it's not a half-assed measure. Otherwise, 4 or 5 years, some woman will come back to get her eggs, and so the eggs have all deteriorated.
They are emphatic about tackling the rise of quackery in reproductive health practices, which exacerbates maternal and child health risks. They call for more regulation, ethical standards, and public awareness to protect vulnerable individuals in Nigeria's growing reproductive health. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria continues to confront a complex nutrition crisis, facing the triple burden of malnutrition, undernutrition, overnutrition, and micronutrient deficiencies. In response, the federal government, alongside national nutrition experts, is intensifying efforts to close critical gaps in the system. Olusheye Adiagbo reports.
According to a UNICEF report, Nigeria has the second highest burden of stunted children globally. Alarmingly, 79% of Nigerians are food insecure. The 2024 Global Hunger Index, Nigeria ranks 110 out of 127 countries, highlighting the urgent need for coordinated action. At this nutrition roundtable organized by Nigeria Health Watch and its partners, stakeholders gathered under the theme Fortifying Nigeria's Future, Strengthening Nutrition Through Local Solutions.
This is not just about food, it's about the future of Nigeria, about ensuring that every child grows, learns, and thrives, that our workforce remains strong and productive, and our country realizes its full potential.
Representative of the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Health, emphasized the government's renewed commitment to fighting micronutrient deficiencies through repositioning large-scale food fortification.
But unfortunately, 20 years down the drain, we're still talking about low or inadequate local capacity to produce the premises. And that is not acceptable to government, because government on its part is making available, making the environment conducive to ensure that there is ease of doing business.
Some of the things that we have had here, which I'm sure every partner would also be taking forward. One of such is the laboratory, capacity building for laboratories.
And from what we have seen today, we've gone on a high pedestal, and if you look at the discussion, you can see that even in the whole of West Africa, Nigeria is #1.
Nutrition program stakeholders welcomed the multi-sectoral approach promoted at the forum, noting that scaling and enforcing fortification policies remains one of the most effective ways to secure Nigeria's nutritional future. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Some party politics now. The new Nigeria People's Party says it is strong and formidable enough to win the 2027 general elections and will keep its door open for those who are willing to join the party. At the 9th National Executive Committee meeting of the party held in Abuja, the leaders, however, agreed to go into discussions with any group or individuals who may wish to form an alliance with the party. David Ayre reports.
The party leadership is pleased that despite challenges rocking the political landscape nationwide, the NNPP has been able to hold firm and weather the storm, with many new members joining its fold. Admitting that many individuals and groups have been reaching out to it for alliance, the party leadership said it will continue to negotiate with like minds and reach agreement with anyone whose philosophy, program, and prospects aligned with the ideas of the party.
We have our party and we are comfortable. We are happy. We are ready to do whatever it takes because we are not in a hurry. Radio Congress is not in a hurry. Members, the leadership, and all of us are not in a hurry. We believe that we have something to offer at the end of the day at the highest leadership level in this country.
We as a party must justify the confidence our fellow compatriots repose in us. That is why this next meeting is important, as the outcome will reassure all citizens of Nigeria that we are serious and we are here to stay.
The party also presented the scorecard to the NEC members with a clean financial report and good performance in the just concluded by-elections.
The NNPP administrations at all levels are being restructured and strategically positioned for the challenges ahead. Towards this end, some state administrations will soon be properly reorganized in line with the goal ahead and in accordance with the party's constitution.
The party expressed optimism that the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State will be in its favor. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports shortly. Stay with us.
Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African Road.
This is NTA News 24.
You're welcome back. Over 2 million Nigerian women are set to benefit from a renewed women's empowerment project launched by ActionAid Nigeria with support from the Canadian government. The 5-year initiative will tackle gender-based violence, boost political inclusion, and strengthen women-led organizations across 8 states and the FCT. Ekene Ndulue reports.
About half of Nigeria's population, they remain largely underrepresented in politics and economic spaces. But now, ActionAid Nigeria is doubling down on efforts to flip the script. After 5 impactful years of the Women's Voice and Leadership Project, which reached over 752,000 women and girls directly, a renewed push has been launched. This time with even bigger ambitions. Backed by the Canadian government, ActionAid Nigeria has unveiled the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Nigeria project, a 5-year initiative focused on 8 states and the FCT.
All Nigerian women matter!
This wave of empowerment is, however, expected to ripple across all 36 states, with eyes set on reaching more than 2 million women, including those living with disabilities, survivors of gender-based violence, and politically marginalized groups.
For us in ActionAid, the first part is for us to reach out to 188 women-led organizations, civil society organizations spread across the country. And these women-led organizations are the ones that we directly carry out this project at the community, at the local government, and at the state level.
This work supports organizations to combat gender-based violence, promote women's economic empowerment, advance political participation, and shape gender equality policies nationally.
We need the women's voices at this time to also complement what the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs is doing under the Renewed Hope Social Impact Intervention projects.
ActionAid says it is not just about giving women a voice, it is about amplifying it where it matters most. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Council for Women's Societies has officially received food and non-food donations from one of its partners, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for onward distribution to victims of disasters and vulnerable households in 5 states of the country. Details with Ngozi Teknikio.
Beneficiaries, according to donors, include victims of natural disaster in 5 states of the Federation, which includes Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Enugu, Plateau, and Sokoto states. Items such as rice, beans, noodles, including toiletries, were donated to the National Council for Women Societies as an expression of godly love to cushion the effect of hardship on disadvantaged ones in those affected states. Elated by the show of generosity, the national president of NCWS commended the church, tracing the originator of the initiative to her predecessors.
We believe that service to God can only be achieved through service to mankind. We are very grateful that we can partner with NCWS.
About 18 states I presented that needed assistance, and they began with the 5 that are most in need. The government cannot do it all. We must complement government's effort. Others applauded the synergies, stating that the world will be a happy place when individuals and organizations emulate this kind gesture.
They brought into practical expression the practice of love. What is love? It's not a feeling, it's an action.
If you have many other organizations that can follow suit in the footsteps of these donors, I think the less privileged will be more happier.
Other states are hopeful of benefiting from similar gesture in the future. Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
In other news, the federal government, through the National Counter-Terrorism Center in the Office of the National Security Advisor, has canvassed the support of stakeholders in the Southwest geopolitical zone towards developing a disarmament, demobilization and reintegration framework for peace and security in Nigeria. The Southwest Zonal Consultation on the DDR framework, which is supported by the UK Spring Programme, brought together representatives of state governments, security agencies, sociocultural groups and experts to dialogue and build consensus on breaking cycles of violence and finding collective pathways to sustainable peace and reconciliation in the country.
Violent conflicts in Nigeria have been fragmented and often reactive and limited in scope. Without a unified or strategic and nationally aligned framework, these efforts risk being short-lived.
We want to know what policies you have, what legal instruments you have, what you think about the harmonization process, what particular views you want represented in the framework.
This effort, which is part of the Strategic Anglo-Nigeria Security and Defense Partnership, focuses on the non-kinetic approach. For us, ultimately, success is reduction of violence.
There were group discussions to identify the root causes of violence, conflict and insecurity in the Southwest geopolitical zone, with far-reaching recommendations towards producing an acceptable national DDR framework embedded with the peculiarities of each geopolitical zone.
Framework must not only silence the guns, but also rebuild trust, justice, opportunity in our communities.
The success of our DDR framework therefore depends critically on decentralizing its implementation to reflect Nigeria's federal character.
There's nothing like ethnicizing criminality. When you ethnicize criminality, you're not going to find a solution.
To understand that it's a problem that we have in our midst that will not go away. If